Welcome, I'm Jon Caldara, president of the Independence Institute and your devil's advocate. A little later, we're going to talk about a possible reboot for the Rocky Mountain News. But first, an educational success story. I'm really thrilled to do this. First, Pam Benigno, you know her, you love her from our Education Center. Good to be here.
Thank you, John.
And Malia, I'm sorry, I'm going to get this wrong. Jamilla.
Yes.
See, I got that right.
You got it.
Thank you for being with us.
Of course.
You're now in Howard, out in D.C.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yes.
I want to talk just a little bit first over here. Colorado actually has a lot of educational choices inside the system, but not that many educational choices outside the system. That is, if somebody wants to go to a school that's a better fit for them, and it's a charter school, there's a way to get there, but if it's a private school, it's a lot harder. Is that right?
That's right. And even if it's a charter school or some sort of public option, you still have to win the lottery to get in. So it's not a sure thing. But if you want to go to a private school, you're going to have to come up with the tuition costs. And they vary across the state, of course.
Right. And that's where you come into this story.
Yes.
All right. Where did you grow up? Where were you going to school?
I grew up in Green Valley Ranch, and I went to Gilpin Elementary. It's over here on about 26th and Welton.
Oh, that's just around the corner from here.
Yeah.
Fun neighborhood.
Yeah, definitely. But so while I was going there, I was having a lot of trouble in school because I wasn't being challenged and the work wasn't hard enough. And so I was way ahead of the other kids.
I had the exact same problem when I was in grade school. It was really difficult for me to be that far ahead. So you were in what? This is in grade school we're talking.
Yeah.
All right. So you didn't find it all that challenging?
No, not at all.
It was boring?
It was very, very boring.
Wow. What's that like?
It was very difficult because I got into a lot of trouble because, you know, I'd finished before everyone else and I'd want to talk and, you know, hang out with my friends, and it was disruptive for everyone else who wasn't as fast as me.
See, that just blows my mind, because I would think, you know, being disruptive in class is because you don't know a lot. In your case...
Yeah, it's because I knew too much.
You knew too much.
Yeah.
So is this what we call gifted and talented? Is that the euphemism we use?
Yes, and I actually ended up, they made me go to a gifted and talented school to be, you know, among other people like me. And it was there that I was given the opportunity to apply for a scholarship to attend a private school for middle and high school.
Let me ask you this. Now, your mom had a lot to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think your mom couldn't afford to send you to a private school. Is that right?
Not at all.
Why did she want to send you to a private school? What's the deal?
The education was better, and I guess my mom sort of saw something in me, and she said that if she could give me the tools that I could really be successful, and so she fought hard to get me into a place where I could get the best educational opportunities.
All right, so again, I was just like this, but this is not an unusual story for us gifted and talented folks. But if you don't have the money to go to a private school, there aren't that many options, are there?
Well, you know, you can try the public options, but a lot of the best schools are full. And we have open enrollment in Colorado where you can cross a district line or your neighborhood school line, but there's still that lottery issue. If you can't afford to buy a house in a very nice neighborhood where the schools are more successful, you don't have as much choice for the best schools.
And that's truly, in DPS and some of these neighborhoods around the studio even, I mean, that's a real issue, that the schools here have more troubles than they do in Cherry Creek or other places. But the demographics don't usually help people get to a private option.
Right, they don't. And there's just not a lot of options, and we need more options for kids.
So to a private scholarship fund to the rescue. So your mom asked for a private scholarship and went to a private place that said, we'll give you money. Do you remember anything about that? You were in 5th grade. What do you remember of that?
I just remember that it was a very, I didn't understand what was going on, but my mom definitely did, and she fought hard for it. And it was a very difficult process because there are a lot of people that want scholarships, but there's not enough to go around. But I did end up being lucky enough to receive a scholarship from 6th grade all the way till 12th grade to attend an elite private school.
The Challenge Foundation.
So the Challenge Foundation is a private organization that provides scholarships. So people give money to the Challenge Foundation, and then they decide how to distribute that. Is that basically how that works?
Yes.
All right. So what elite school did you go to?
I went to St. Mary's Academy. and it's up there on University Boulevard.
I would drive by that a lot. That is an all-girls academy, wasn't it?
The high school is all girls, but the middle school is co-ed, but yeah.
Because I went to school at St. Mary's in Littleton, which everybody got confused with, thinking that, but there were girls there and boys, so that worked out. How far away was St. Mary's Academy from where you lived?
I had to take public transportation because my mom, she worked and, you know, she's a single mother. So it was about a 3.5 hour bus ride every day there and back. So I'd wake up.
Time out. So in order to get to this school, you would spend up to 7 hours a day riding buses.
Yes.
In high school?
In high
school.
school.
But in junior high, did they provide this particular scholarship organization? Most of them don't, but provided transportation.
Yes, they did for middle school.
So you 7 hours a day to go to school? That sounds like hell squared. How'd you put up with it?
I just knew, first of all, my mom, she was like, it's what you have to do, so just do it. You know, she pushed me really hard. And then as I got older, it just became a part of my routine, and I realized it's what I had to do to get to school, to get, you know, my amazing education.
And what was different? Tell me, from the school you were in to going to St. Mary's, even at a young age, could you tell a difference?
Definitely.
What was the difference?
It was the academic coursework was more rigorous, and also the teachers, they were more, they put more time into individual students. And so it was a combination of rigorous classwork and then the one-on-one time. It was just like, it fostered a lot of academic growth for me.
Wow. Now, you're not the only kid in your family, right?
No, not at all.
Did all the kids go to St. Mary's or some other school?
No, my younger brother, he's a freshman in high school. He actually wanted to get a scholarship, but there wasn't enough to go around.
So in other words, you got the lucky break because mom was able to get a scholarship for you, but there's not enough. And did they try to get one for your brother?
Yeah, we did.
But there just wasn't enough there.
Yeah.
So in other words, if more people gave more money to the scholarship funds, guys like your brother could go. Mm-hmm. Not bad.
I'd like to ask a question. Why was it so important to you to get a good education or a great education?
Well, I did always have a dream, and I had a dream school. I always wanted to go to Howard University, and I know that I needed to be in a place that fostered me like academically so that I could reach that goal. And I did. I currently go to Howard University, and I know a big part of that was going to St. Mary's and them challenging me and making sure that I was the best I could be academically.
If you stayed in the government school, do you think you'd be in Howard today?
Honestly, I do not think so. You know, it was such an unpredictable path, and I don't think I would have had the same opportunities that I had at St. Mary's. So I'm not sure if I would have made that dream come true.
What was the worst part of going to this school? Come on, be honest. I went to a St. Mary's, and there were some nuns who had some serious torture issues.
Oh, not at St. Mary's. They were all great. I loved all my teachers. I think the worst part was the bus ride. If there was one big negative, it would just be the bus ride.
I want to ask you a bit about these organizations, because we think about education all the time, about what government can do, what government can do, what government can do. But here the Challenge Fund is a foundation that helps people like this really achieve a dream. Tell me more about that. How does this organization work, and are there others?
There's the Challenge Foundation, and there's Seeds of Hope, Parents Challenge. Those are the 4 501c3, the nonprofit groups in the state that provide scholarships K through 12. There are some other just family foundations that do that, but of course they don't take donations. But the nonprofits need more donations, and people donate. They receive a tax deduction for their donation, but in 14 other states, there have been programs that have been adopted that actually incentivize giving by allowing for a tax credit.
Let me see if I understand all this. So, if I want to help your brother, and I want to help people like your brother, I can give to one of these organizations, and they turn around and give scholarships. I mean, this is not new, and I get a tax deduction. But you're telling me in 14 other states I could do this and get something much more valuable to me, a tax credit, which means I get actual money off the bottom line of my taxes, not just a deduction, but I get to save real money. So in other words, I want to give more.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
It's
So
a-
how's it working in these other 14 states?
How does it work?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it working well? Are
it's
kids
working really well, and some of the programs are older than others. The older ones, there have been studies done for just school choice in general, whether it's a tax credit or a voucher, and the kids are doing great, and the parents are very satisfied.
Isn't the usual complaint being, wait a second, you're gonna drain money out of government coffers? So if you're giving tax credits to help people like Jamilla to do that, there's not going to be enough money in government. Isn't that
Well,
the usual complaint?
It can be, but actually the program that we're looking at, that we'd like to see in Colorado, would save the state money, because the size of the scholarship, the size of the average scholarship, is actually less than what the state would be paying for a student to go to a public school. So the state saves money.
So use simple numbers here for me. If it costs 10 grand to send a kid to school, if there's a $5,000 scholarship, when somebody gets that scholarship, the state is actually saving $10,000, even though there's the
They're
cost
saving
out.
$5,000 with that
5,000,
example.
right.
Mhm.
Is this is not the only thing. There's no deduction yet. There's no tax credit yet. But we do tax credits for all sorts of things. If I buy a Prius, I'll get a tax credit. If I own a farm and I produce bull semen, seriously, there's a tax credit for that, but not for your brother.
Well, and I think one of the big differences here is when you buy an electric car and you receive up to $6,000 off your taxes owed in Colorado, that's for you. You benefit from that, an individual. We're talking about helping out other kids, or helping out others, and that couldn't otherwise afford the opportunity to have an opportunity like Jamilla's had.
Now, you never thought that starting this, you would actually go all the way through and get to your dream of Howard University. Was that, I mean, what fifth grader has that kind of dream anyway?
You know, I never realized, I always had the dream, but I never realized how important going to the school I went to was to that dream. And it was kind of the vision of my mom, because there were a bunch of days where I was like, I don't want to ride the bus. I just want to go to a regular school. I want to go to a school with boys, a school with a football team. And I did want to give up a lot, but she wouldn't let me. And looking back, I realized that without that opportunity, I would not be where I am today.
If anybody's listening that's thinking about donating to one of these scholarship funds, what's your message to them?
I would tell them that it is so important, and people don't realize how important it is. A lot of kids, they just need an opportunity. Just that's all they need, is this opportunity to go and to be successful and be the best person that they can be. But there's not enough of those opportunities, and you don't realize how far your donation can go. Like, you can make someone's dream come true.
And for the politicians who might be watching, to do a tax credit for this, is this something that you think would help out more kids like you?
Yeah, I definitely think it would. And I feel like we can all agree that we want kids to have the best education possible. Regardless of who you are politically or what you believe in politically, we can say, I want kids to be the best they can be and learn the most that they can.
Jamilla, thank you. Pam, thank you. Stay tuned.